The 5 Best Blender Combo 2024, the versatile kitchen essential that's perfect for busy kitchens. Ninja and Nutribullet to Vitamix, these are our experts' top picks. If you're someone who enjoys space efficiency and value for money, you're in for a treat. The Best Blender food processor combos combine chopping, dicing, slicing, blending, pulsing, and more into one neat, sleek appliance. As someone who is always busy in the kitchen, I wanted to find a hard-working appliance that could save me space and money. I enlisted the help of our expert testers to find the Best Blender food processor combos. We all agreed that these needed to be worthy of a position in our Best Blenders buying guide, as well as our Best Food Processors one. There shouldn't be any compromises. Whether you're whipping up smoothies, pureeing soups, chopping vegetables, or kneading dough, we've tested the best on the market. These are the ones you need in your kitchen. Whether you're looking for luxury and capacity or a petite, space-saving option, there's one for you. In our tests, we assess how well blenders can make smoothies, milkshakes, frozen margaritas and more, and we test how well food processors can chop onions and herbs, puree sauce and hummus, slice vegetables and more. Read on for more about our testing process as well as what to look for when shopping for a blender food processor combo. Number 1. Best Blender Food Processor Combo Overall, Ninja Professional Plus Kitchen System with Auto IQ. This boasts some serious power and capacity. It was faultless across all our tests, so if you want an appliance that can do it all, look no further. Just note, this is huge. When we needed to pick a blender for top spot, there was no question of which it would be. This is reasonably priced, versatile, excellent value, and it flew through our tests. It's best suited for bigger families, thanks to the enormous 72-ounce pitcher and 64-ounce food processor, but if you want to make single servings, there are also 2 24-ounce travel bullets that you can throw in your bag and take on the go. This was a hot contestant for one of the competitive spots in our buying guide for the best blenders. The only reason it came a little lower down the list and didn't steal the accolade of the best large blender is because it was some impressive seeds across behind in our ice cones smoothie test. Quite frankly, the smoothie was close to perfect. We just have very high standards. It's mediocre for processing big batches of fibrous ingredients. If you fill the jar to its full capacity, it makes a grainy puree with ingredients like kale. It also takes nearly 10 minutes of blending to get the best possible texture. If you want to make multiple batches of smoothies or process a full recipe as soup, the Ninja Chef Blender can achieve a smoother texture. It's great for making nut butter. You need to stop every minute or so to remove the lid and use a spatula or spoon to scrape the walls of the jar. Besides that inconvenience, it's quite an easy process if you ramp up from low to high speed. After about 5 minutes of blending, it makes fantastic, smooth nut butter. As a food processor, our experts labeled this faultless. We tested everything in it, asking the Ninja to chop zucchini, celery, and carrots. We used all the speed settings, including pulse, and it more than delivered. Our only complaint was that it's on the noisy side. Before you make the investment, it's worth evaluating your kitchen space. The large attachments need some spacious cupboards to be stored neatly away in, especially because the lids only lock into place when the attachments are on your base. Just remember, this is 2 appliances in one, so you're probably saving space overall. Number 2. Best Vitamix Blender Food Processor Combo, Vitamix A3500 Ascent Series Smart Blender. You'll probably already know the A3500 line for its iconic heating blender. It's defended the top spot in our buying guide for the best blenders for over a year now, and it doesn't look like it's going to be shaken anytime soon. The Blender Food Processor Combo is a really premium appliance. It's a pricey option, but we think it's excellent value. Here's why. First of all, the powerful motor is made with aircraft-grade stainless steel blades, so you know that it's built with quality, durability, and enough power to whiz up the toughest greens and crispest ice into nothing. Reviewers say that it can make silky smooth drinks, effortless soups, and creamy nut butter without breaking a sweat. They particularly love the variable speed controls and presets which give you control over your recipes if you want it. The food processor function is equally impressive. The range of attachments, including the bowl and blades, can chop, slide, and shred like the best of them. Reviewers have made fresh salsas, pizza dough, and grated cheese without any issues. It takes all your meal prep stress and whizzes it away. The Vitamix has a reputation for being the gold standard in blenders. It can handle basic kitchen tasks, so we weren't surprised when our chocolate banana smoothie was perfectly blended. We also weren't surprised at the perfectly emulsified mayonnaise. We loved that we could add ice to blended drinks and end up with something that didn't have shards of chunky ice and instead had a perfect slushy texture. That was just the beginning. Like other Vitamix blenders, the blades of the A3500 spin so fast that they can heat the food until it steams and cooks when the blender runs long enough. We tossed ingredients for tomato soup into the blender jar, and in under 7 minutes, we were able to pour it, steaming hot, into a bowl. We also experimented with the heating capability when we made chocolate pudding that cooked and thickened in less time than it would have taken on the stove, and it was smooth and lump-free. When we used the blender to mix a cheesecake batter that we usually make in a food processor, we got a slightly airier texture, but it was still delicious when baked. That airiness was just what we wanted when we made a small batch of whipped cream. We also liked adding flavors to cream cheese, whipping it to create a fluffier, spreadable version that was easy to smear on bagels and crackers. The pulse button came in handy for potato pancakes. First, we blended the egg, flour, onion, and some potato until it was almost smooth. Then, we added the rest of the potato and pulse to get the texture of shredded potatoes without the work. Although it seems like an odd use of a blender, this beast of a machine has the power to knead dough. Our dough came together in record time and emerged from the appliance, slightly warm and ready to rise. As I've mentioned, this kind of expertise comes at a cost. The premium price point might be enough to put you off, as might the large footprint. If you're short on space, there are smaller appliances that it's worth considering. They won't be as good as this, but I think the Vitamix might over-deliver for some. Number 3, Best Blender Food Processor Combo for Large Homes, Nutribullet Triple Prep System. If you live in a large home and you've got a lot to do, the Nutribullet will become your best friend. The seamless design integrates effortless blending and thorough food processing into one, sleek, smart appliance. As a blender, this is a seriously good option. I recently tested it on making smoothies, soups, dips, and ice cones. Thanks to the sharp blades and powerful motor, it whizzed up consistently perfect results. I tested both the big, family-sized pitcher and the single-serve bullets. The beauty of having these options is that you can make drinks to take on the go, skipping washing up, but when you need it, you've got a big pitcher with a lot of capacity. The food processor is similarly impressive. I chopped, shredded, and pureed in this totally effortlessly. The only place this slightly faltered was on consistency on chopping smaller quantities. The food processor is so big that one small onion wasn't as thoroughly chopped. It's fantastic for processing small batches of fibrous ingredients. It makes a virtually perfectly smooth blend with ingredients like kale in the personal jar with just one 60-second smoothie cycle. It's fantastic for blending fibrous ingredients at full capacity in the main pitcher. Once again, you get the best results with one 50-second smoothie cycle. The final result is worse than the smaller batch, but only slightly, with just a few tiny unprocessed bits left over. It's not good for making nut butter. The jar's design causes ingredients to build up under the blades and on the jar's walls. It comes with a tamper, but its short size makes it not very useful, so you have to stop and scrape the sides of the jar often during the process. After around 25 minutes of work, it makes decent nut butter, but the ingredients heat up a lot, and steam builds up inside the jar. The manual says not to use the blender for dry ingredients. While nut butter doesn't remain dry for the whole process, like spices or flour would, it's worth noting that using it for nut butter may be easier with some liquid like oil in the jar, like most blenders. Overall, this is a seriously impressive appliance. It's big, so only buy it if you've got the space and the demand for it, but if it sounds like the one for you, you'll be grateful you made the investment. Number 4, Best Blender Juicer Food Processor Combo, Breville the 3X Bluicer Blender and Juicer. If you like to get creative in the kitchen, blending, juicing, and food processing, you're going to love the Bluicer. It combines the capabilities of 3 appliances into one, sleek, smart appliance. As a blender and a food processor, this boasts some impressive capabilities. You can make smoothies, sauces, and dips with ease. Thanks to the 5-speed settings and pre-programmed blending functions, you can have full control over the texture and consistency of what you cook. Some would say that this is a bit of a stretch as a good food processor since it's more of a blender. However, we used it for all of the same functions and it was good, if not a little over-enthusiastic. Rather usefully, this can handle hot ingredients. If you've roasted a load of vegetables, you can throw them in and make a piping to soup in seconds. Similarly, if you wanted to make hot sauces, you could too. This just happens to also be one of the best juicers on the market. It has a wide chute and filter, so you won't have to do much in the way of prep. The Bluicer comes with a useful chart to help guide you on the juicing settings. Mode 1 works with soft fruits and Mode 5 can juice an apple in seconds. As a centrifugal juicer, this creates quite a lot of froth, so some people strain their juice before starting to sip. It's also a whopping 17 inches tall, so if you have wall cupboards, it'll be hard to keep out on the countertop. Also, because the appliance is so multifunctional, you will have quite a task cleaning all the parts thoroughly. I used the Breville the 3X Bluicer to make smoothies and smoothie bowls, as well as to crush ice. The blending pitcher has a non-removable blade at the base which connects to the base and leaves a bit of a visible gap, which allows you to see the mechanism spin as it blends. I found that the Breville the 3X Bluicer had absolutely no trouble making smoothies using fresh fruit, milk, and honey. By the time the 60-second timer had finished, I had a very smooth drink that was ready to pour. Number 5. Cuisinart Blender Food Processor Combo, Cuisinart Smart Power Duet Blender/Food Processor. In our tests, this blender, food processor combo stood out for its sturdy feel with a glass blender jar and strong chopper attachment. It has a 700-watt motor, which means it's powerful, but it's not the highest power blender you can find. Some have more than double the power. The 3-cup food processor attachment is great for small tasks like chopping and pureeing. It was able to achieve a fine mince on parsley quickly, and it blasted through Parmesan chunks to create powdery results. The shredding and slicing attachments worked acceptably, mozzarella shredded evenly, but hard carrots were a little less even. We had to process our smoothies, milkshakes, and margaritas longer than with other blenders we tested, but this model was amongst the highest scoring in terms of ease of use. Through both performance and design, it delivers on the appeal of multifunctional appliances. It takes up less space than two separate appliances and has an approachable price point.